Today I'd like to share about something I've been telling my auntie. I mean, I think I told this to my auntie last year, but that somehow boil over to some real time. I mean, real psychologists, clinical psychologists, and they found out a problem. And this is later on. I think Mattias, right? Mattias something. I forgot his name. He's actually psychologist's name. But then Malone is keep sharing this. You can see, he keep on very vocal about it. They call it mass psychosis. You also can drill more in the YouTube about it. But one thing clear is that you can't correlate. I mean, people cannot correlate with day-to-day event what this is really. They can't associate. The problem is you can't associate what mass psychosis is an individual. I mean, as an individual, you will not. When you read that, even you see that, you won't able to feel it. You won't know that it's related to each individual of us. So let me break it down to two. One is the way we information flows and how we digesting this information. It's important to aware that the evolution, right? So there's a two-way evolution. Evolution or changes in terms of your physical appearance changes. For example, you may change, you won't notice because it's evolving, right? So usually people say the evolutionary process take a very long period of time. Yes, it's true. There's also short-term evolutionary changes where your habit change over a short course of time. That's actually evolutionary changes. They are my very gradual, miniature changes that we will not understand or not understand. We will not aware. Those changes we don't aware. Something that we need to take note of. That's one. The other evolutionary changes is the thought process, right? How we think, behave, and react, right? So this is very much important. The reason why I immediately jump into evolutionary concept or understanding, right, is that the problem with the evolutionary changes is that we will not notice it. You see, it's not like things change and you snap and you are awake and then you realize the things has changed. You will not notice that things has changed. It's a very slow progression of change that you will not notice. You become very tuned to it. You feel like very natural. I mean, you will feel very natural to it. So yeah, cool. This is good. So evolutionary changes. So it's very gradual changes. It's very slow, progressive changes that occur in our system that we won't notice it, right? So your language or the way how we perceive and see things, so it changes. The reason why I'm stressing in terms of evolutionary, I try to stress the evolutionary point of view and concept-wise important is that the things that we see day to day in and out, we feel like this is me, this is you, this is who I am, this is how I live. It's all this conceptual viewpoint of individuality happened because somebody showed us something. Okay. For example, the only reason why you're drinking water from a cup because somebody created the cup and give you the cup. Okay. If I took you and drop you in the middle of the jungle or in the middle of a desert, when you are a very young age, where you don't know any of this stuff, where I don't show you what is a cup or mug, you will start using whatever means or way or method of mean or way to drink a water, including using your hand to drink water or just drink it with your mouth directly from a stream. So it's more like how people show you and how people have been visually showed, right? It's like how people giving you what picture have been put in front of you to show that, hey, this is important. So I remember I had this discussion with one of my senior member, one of the peers that I had was that, when I was explaining about this issue, it's like, the defense point that the person had was that, hey, this is a normal, this helped me to shine, you see, this helped me to voice out, this method of media helped me to be confident of who I am. So the problem with that very statement is that somebody give you that, and then that give, for example, give you that age. For example, I'm able to talk to a video and able to blast out this video message to you, and I'm speaking pretty much all by myself in this area, and I'm talking to a phone. I'm able to compile this video and pass to you. It's pretty much easy. I don't need to be on a stage or somewhere for do this, right? I don't need an expensive camera. I just recording from my phone, so I'm able to do that. But then the part that what happened now is that this became a norm where you're using information basically like that. You're able to use it, and without that technology, you became handicapped. So you see that if for now, if suddenly somebody tell that, hey, you have to go back to time and then use a different old technology of audio video equipment where you really have to adjust it with the lens and so on, you will not do that, because we have passed through, and that's an evolutionary process of evolution. In terms of innovation, evolutionary things have proceeded, right? So now back to the, as I say that the importance of human evolutionary in terms of changes, and one of the key things that's important is that how we are processing information. I remember back in this, I think 2 years ago, I know I keep telling my auntie, whenever I call or message her, I tell her, one of the key things that I keep telling her, that be careful when you forward messages. This is something that I stress to her, and I tell her, be careful, beware, don't forward any messages. Try to avoid forwarding messages. I noticed that sometimes she got some message, so she counter-check, she forward back to me, and she counter-check whether, how legit is the specific news or information that you got. The problem of forwarding, the problem of reading an information and forwarding is that the problem with getting a message, receiving a message, and forwarding is that there's just two problems with that. One is when we get an information, one is our brain have to process it, what kind of information we get, okay? And then we do some sort of filtering where we get the information and we try to filter, we try to digest the information and try to filter whether it really matters or not. And then when we forward the message, we also want to make sure that the person who received the message see it value. You see, when you forward a message, you're not just you forwarding a message, you want to forward a message so that a person is able to digest and value the message that you're forwarding. Okay, that's multiple stage of it. This is what all major news channels is doing. Okay, this is what all major news channels is. It's not one person task, but it's a teamwork. It means that a team was doing that. A team review news, analyze this news, and then publish it. But when an individual person reading information and forwarding that individual become a news channel. Yeah, that's something that people will not understand, okay? Because when I read an information from you, I process it and then pass it on. And what happened is that over time you became biased with specific information. You became really, really biased at certain angle of a news, okay? Because one is your audience. One is you begin to notice your audience. You're going to be able to notice a trend in terms of your audience, how a person is perceiving your information and analyzing information, right? So this really, really important. And then it's important that so a person's analyze the information and then process it. So the person who forward the information knows his audience. So, and then on top of that, because he need to entertain the audience, he or she may do a lot of processing work and then work he really have to work for the information. You need to analyze the information, fetch the information and forward it. So the problem with that is that the person became really biased at a specific angle of it. That's something that I need to note of. People say, hey, it's very easy, I can take that and forward it. The key point of the problem is how the multimedia channel has what do you call it? Social media network. The social media network has did is that they tap into somewhere where you actually able to click like and dislike. You see, people have to click and dislike. So every time you see a person like your channel, like your information, you know, you want that response. You want to feel that response, and that's where a person will caught up into become a news channel, and it will be really stressful because mentally a person will be like I said, it is not a one-person job to be a news channel, right? This is a teamwork, you know, a corporate team, a news channel used to do that. And then process analyze. Usually one reporter can do all this reporting work, but it's a very specific field news job. It's not for individual person. But imagine, right? So that's one part of it. So that's important part of the mass psychosis, right? That the mass psychosis that Robert Malone was saying. Okay, not right. Nobody says this. Okay, nobody really says what is the trigger, root cause of it. So I kind of try to explain that. You see, right? All that transaction, right, where you became the newspaper channel when you're digesting news and then you try to publish a news, right? So the action, the activity a person doing that forwarding, reading, and then analyzing, and then throw the information around, or even policing information, right? So when you're reading information and you're policing information, so you're mentally, what we say, it's a very complicated task, okay? Because the information you got, you know, you need to make sure it's credible and stuff, right? So you don't have, you know, you can be easily manipulated. So that's one thing. So note that. And the key things that why I kind of stress on this one is that, you see, you've been doing this naturally. You see, remember earlier I said that evolutionary process that take effect every cycle, right? So this is like, it takes very slow progression, and you don't feel it, you never sense it, you don't feel it that, hey, something is really hitting your head. For example, everyone, I think majority by now should know that people who are posting on Instagram are filtering information and they just want to post what is the best. Okay, that's one of the key things that I'm going to go into step number 2 of this. The first steps I want to understand, I want to level set in terms of how information been traveling. Okay, the second step of it, how it been delivered to a person, right? Okay, that's the second step, how the information delivered to it. It's more like if you read an Instagram post, if you Instagram picture, if you see an Instagram picture, immediately you notice that, you know, a person will be look bright, the best of it. You know, they want to show the best of it. They won't show the worst of it. They want to show exactly what is the best. You know, that's how Instagram posting works, right? Because people want to show what is the best about them. They don't show what is the worst about them, or even, you know, what is the average life. I don't think anybody will show their day-to-day job, because they want to make sure that the person, the audience, right, that's you, are excited with it. Okay, excited with the content that they're presenting. If it's not, yeah, so they won't. So this is back to what the content being published in Instagram, right? So the content on Instagram that publish is to make you happy. Okay, it's to make you addicted. It's to make you feel nice or seeing what another person is doing. Okay, so the key part here that I want to stress is the being nice. Okay, that's the key one that I really want to stress on, because this one I'll jump into the level 3 of the issue of this. Remember I say progression, right? So each steps we will hit a different issue. This is a progressional changes. So once you become a news media channel, then you're broadcasting a specific messages, really fine-tuned messages to your audience, people who are responding to your feedback. You will be really biased. I mean, pretty much biased to a specific, because you kind of know what your audience wants. So you're fine-tuning, really fine-tune your messages only for specific group. Okay, so mentally you are fucked up. Mentally, seriously, you're fucked up, because what happened here is that your brain is so fine-tuned. This is something else I kind of noted, is that people generally are not multitask. Multitask or multi-expertise. This is something I just kind of noted it, is where people are really narrow focus on their life. It's very narrow. They are very specialized in field A, but they're not expertise on field B or field C. So they're not really they don't have a multi-speciality. They cannot cross over fields of expertise. Damn, the storm is coming like hell. So they're not really good at it. Good at multi-level. For example, I can cook, I can do photography, I run, and I'm good at computing. I'm a networking guy, and I know audio, video, recording and stuff. So I know a lot of stuff, but there are people who can't do all those stuff. They only can do one or two things, and that's about it. They do that's good about it, and that's it. Yeah, which is weird. So with that case, with that kind of understanding, right, of how human behavior are fine-tuned to a specific field of expertise, and they are doing this messaging work where they've been trying to be nice to an individual group based on information that provided to them. It's very, very difficult. So there we have where they do everything they know of to keep the person, the audience, feel nice. Okay, they're doing everything to make the other person feel nice. Okay, so remember, right, evolutionary of human behavioral change that will happen in the course of 10 years or 20 years. It's a very short period of time. So the first problem is that, hey, how we are digesting information, how processing information and forwarding work. And the second is how we become the news channel and how we are broadcasting the information. Okay, so that's a lot of peer pressure. So whenever you get information, you have that problem. So here's the best part of it: is one is majority information we're getting is not accurate, it's not real. Majority information are just made to make us feel nice and good about it. So with that, majority of the information is not really accurate as how we like to perceive. That's the problem. Not as what we think it is. That's one of the biggest problem. And then certain information can be simply amplified, filtered, and then pretty much damaged. I mean, you won't get really a full, real, credible information at all. So with that, okay, now we go to that I think is the third problem of it, right? So I go to first problem, second problem, and the third one. The third problem is pretty damaging. Remember, I told you that people are doing it for being nice. So if, let's say, I have a friend who's sitting next to me and I'm debating something, I talk to him, right? No matter how I debate to a person, he still will be next to me. Okay, I can see him from his facial tone, I can see his physical appearance, I can see a lot of gestures, I can have facial expression, hands expression. I also can see his tone, right? How his tone is, whether it's going tone really, he's showing anger, he's accepting idea or no. He able to have that different amplitude to express his concern or even agree to certain concepts and ideas. That if he's sitting next to me, but if he's sitting on the other side of the network, on somewhere else, another area, we had a completely different conversation. So a person can send a message from here to there, text, right? You typing something and send it over there. Nobody's gonna type a book and then giving you all your expression and then throwing it in a nicely compiled message, right? They're not gonna do that. So they'll type a short message and pass to you. So passing that message, you lost all that gesture, right? So what happened is that the communication method that we try to do convey to the other person is that will be positive. remember the other problem I say that whenever you are entertaining the audience, your news audience, or people who forwarding, you always be nice. For that one, very clear. If you want to really want to clear that kind of message, you will see on your social media feeds, and you'll see your friends or peers forwarding messages. There's kind of two messages, right? Usually will be positive message. They say, hey, good morning, nice, all positive, always positive. They always post only what makes you happy, or they think that will make you happy. They're only forwarding good messages. You will not say anything that is bad. You won't see anything bad. Since the 2020, the other fourth message is the fear factor. Because people know that, hey, you like fear. Somehow, I don't know who the hell got the idea. They think that people like fear, so they'll send the fear message as well. Because they kind of know, you remember? They know the audience. They know that people like to be afraid of. It's like everybody knows how to be afraid. So they send that message. So that amplified. Remember what Robert Malone was saying? Mass psychosis. It is a mass activity. So the fear, right? So where was I? So it's more like the messaging between individual. Okay? The problem is that we only be nice to one another. Because the moment you've been bad, the moment you made a critical comment to one person over the line, the chances somebody disconnect you from their inner circle or from their own personal contact is extremely high. I think they call it cancel culture today. So I hope you understand where I'm going. There's something dynamically changing the way we're communicating, and as we moving toward this information technology stuff, it's just pretty much bullshit. A lot of people think that they are getting really smart with the information they have. Unfortunately, it's not true, because as we process and analyze information now, we are getting distorted information, and everybody is trying to be nice by faking everything.